I wanted the last meals I prepare in the apartment to be special, easy to make, and include the ingredients I need to finish before we're moving, so I won't have to throw away food. Turns out they're also gluten-free. Here are 3 recipes for full meals that I believe anyone can learn to make. Very suitable for guests and for friends and or just, for you. Let's start with the salad I've been loving lately. A simple sweet potato lentil salad. It begins with roasting sweet potato cubes, which, to be honest, I think can elevate almost any salad, but that's just a side note, so follow the recipe. Exactly. I use a mix of greens, baby beet leaves, baby arugula, and baby mizuna. I don't know how to pronounce it. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Chopped purple onion, and I add cooked brown lentils, chopped parsley, and prepare the dressing. This salad dressing is sweet and tangy, so it blends really well with the ingredients, giving a similar vibe. Meanwhile, you'll hear Gracie in the background going wild. This whole transition is really hard for her. I highly recommend adding the dressing first, mixing, and then adding the sweet potatoes and mixing a bit more. I usually use pecans, but since I ran out, I used whole almonds, and it actually turned out to be really good. And now we move on to a dish that I'm pretty sure will be the most high protein dish I will ever make. And it's called Synia, which is taken from the Middle Eastern kitchen. It traditionally served with meat, which of course I swapped with tasty and very juicy alternatives. Above the Synia, there's a layer of tahini with a surprise in it, roasted cauliflower. So I went overboard with the oil. Don't learn from me, just those 3 seconds. Everything else is sacred. And we'll move on to the mixture layer, which includes onions, mushrooms, soy flakes, lentils, and parsley. I wanted this layer to be packed with protein, with all sorts of textures and bursting with flavor. It should hold up the tahini layer above it, but be soft enough to give way smoothly to all 3 layers until the bottom layer of the tomatoes. This is when I added spices but didn't film it, so sorry for that, but all the spices are listed below the subscribe button with all the ingredients of all 3 recipes, as always. I gently layer the fried layer over the tomatoes very smoothly so I don't move the tomatoes, and then I press it down to ensure it forms a uniform layer. On top of that, I spread the roasted cauliflower with the excessive amount of oil, making sure they're close to each other but not touching. And now for the preparation of the tahini, which is an essential ingredient, in my opinion, in everyone's menu, adding so much richness and flavor. And together with the cauliflower, together with the fried layer and the tomatoes in the oven, is just perfection. Really, it's like a Middle Eastern lasagna. I add more of the tomato sauce on top of the tahini for extra flavor contrast, almonds for crunch, and drizzle with olive oil, then sprinkle some dried oregano on top. Of course, it looks very beautiful and colorful, just the way I like it. I bake it for 30 to 40 minutes in an oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius until the tahini layer is golden and set. After baking, I let the Synia cool for at least 20 minutes before cutting so it holds together better. Fresh parsley on top, both for color and to enhance the flavor. And now for the dessert. Indulgent apple crumble, which feels like a treat from nature itself, and it's not one of those complicated desserts. It's really enjoyable to prepare. The crumble usually includes flour, but I decided I wanted to make it more friendly, more gluten friendly and sweeter thanks to the fruits in it rather than the added sugar, but I still added sugar, so don't judge me. Similar to the Synia, here too there are layers. Now I'm preparing the crumble layer above the apples, mainly made from gluten-free flours, nuts and coconut oil. You can use any nuts you like. I chose walnuts, hazelnuts and pecans. You can use more or less than me. I love them when they become sweetened and crunchy, so I highly recommend not skipping them. I mix the crumble a bit with a spoon, and then I'll move to mixing it with my hands to ensure it's as uniform as possible. I'll chill it in the fridge while we prepare the layer of apples. And now for the bottom layer of the apples, I'm cutting the peeled apples into small cubes, adding the rest of the ingredients and mixing them together. I transferred the apples to the baking dish, spreading and flattering them to form an even layer at the bottom. On top of the apples, I sprinkle fresh strawberries and blueberries that I've frozen, but you can also use fresh ones. I place them spaced apart and press them slightly into the apples. On top of them, I scatter the crumble. The crumble will come out firm and sticky after cooling, and that's okay. It might take a bit of effort to break it, and although there might be a few chunks, after baking it will be much more even and flat. On top of it, I sprinkle some reserved fruits. It adds another layer of sauce that mixes with the crumble. Highly recommended. That's it for today. The next video on my channel will be from my new kitchen, so it's really worth subscribing to my channel and staying updated. Thank you so much to everyone who's already here and watched this video. I love you all so much.